10 years ago, I was diagnosed, finally diagnosed with asthma, allergy-related asthma, and it was mostly at that point, more exercise-related. So I consented to start on medication, and so I have been using pretty much for about 10 years. I also had the use of, which is an allergy med. And those two were primarily the only meds I was on until I developed high blood pressure, which I later found out is a side effect of the. So I was introduced to UBI treatments probably about 3 years ago. A friend of mine's father had a colon cancer tumor, and he was going for treatments and seemed to be getting better. And she kept telling me, go, 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 And I was just leery of this idea of somebody fussing with my blood. And when I found that it had, really become a secure method of cleansing the blood, it began to make sense to me. So I called the number on the bottom of the pamphlet and have had 4 treatments and am enjoying a much better quality of life. After my first visit that night, I climbed in bed and forgot to take the medication that which I was always taking, and I thought, well, I'm just going to try to make it through and see. And I slept like a baby that night, which is usually an impossibility without the meds. So I started the next day to get along without them, and it was not recommended to me by the practitioner that was doing that I should just stop all my meds. But, I'm living in this body, so I decided to take a chance. And I found that I felt better if I continued to take the once about every 3 days. And so I've continued doing that rather than 2 times a day every day. And with the side effects that I know are present with these meds, and especially with whatever I can do to continually decrease those meds would be, to my advantage.
I took this technology to Togo, West Africa about 1.5 years ago, and I encountered a patient there who appeared to be suffering from an acute rabies infection. There was no medicines currently at the missionary hospital that could help him, and I offered to treat him with biophotonic therapy. And after 3 treatments, he had a miraculous recovery and was discharged from the hospital later that week. I think this treatment, in conjunction with some supplementation, is very effective in treating numerous forms of cancer. I've experienced many different forms of cancer in complete remission after the use of this therapy for a period of 6 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, last October I had what I thought was a bad cold, then it went into bronchitis. Doctor thought maybe there was something else going on because I was having a lot of shortness of breath. They did a chest x-ray, found I had an enlarged heart, sent me for a echocardiogram. They ran various tests, found I had good blood flow to the heart, good electrical function. So they came back with the idea that I must have picked up a viral infection. Early January, I couldn't walk more than about 100 feet without being completely out of breath. I was just about to get a handicap sticker for my car, and I got the first treatment here. And lo and behold, I had tremendous energy. I could start to walk. I had 3 treatments. By middle of February, I was in New York. I was walking a mile down the street, not out of breath. My latest tests show that the heart has come back into the beginning of normal function, but I'd like it to get better, so I'm continuing the treatments. But certainly it improves your energy level fantastically.
A few years ago, I had shingles, and I had, it lasted about 2.5, 3 months, very painful. And I had gone to the doctor with it, and there wasn't a whole lot that he could do for it or he could prescribe. And so then it went away on its own after a time. Well, then a couple years, a little while ago, I got it again, and it came back, and it was very, very painful again. And I also had 3 cold sores at the time, and so I had an appointment to come in here to get a treatment, And I did. I came in and received a UBI, and that night I was laying in bed and the side of my face just started really tingling. It was like, it almost felt like something was crawling through it, but it was just really, really tingling. And then it went away. Well, then a few minutes later, it came back again, and it started really, really tingling again. And the pain went away. And after that, I had no more pain with the shingles. And it healed up within, I would say, 3-4 days. It just started healing rapidly. And I had a couple other treatments after that, and the cold sores went away real rapidly, more than using medications. And so from then on, I have not had any problems with the shingles.
I was diagnosed with MS in 1991, numb from the neck down, crippled on the right side, and blind in the right eye. And went on beta interferon in '94, and I got better, but I still had an awful pain in my legs. When I walked, I couldn't hardly make it. I didn't feel that I was getting any better with my walking, and so I heard about this, so I thought, well, I'll give it a try. The improvement in my walking is like a miracle. I was with my friend and I said, this is like a miracle. I can walk 3 miles and I don't even have to stop. And my daughter said, Mom, you're really looking good these days. She says, your eyes are so blue and I can do all the things that I always wanted to do without pain.
I was first diagnosed with breast cancer back in the fall of 2006. I chose to go with traditional medicine. I had surgery and did 3 sessions of chemotherapy. And 1 year later, I was re-diagnosed with a reoccurrence of breast cancer that had metastasized extensively. And so I decided I didn't want to do the traditional medicine again. And I've been doing biophotonic therapies for about 3 months now, I think. And my cancer markers prior to biophotonic therapy reduced 55 points in 4 months, and since doing biophotonic therapy, they've gone down 100 points in 2 months. I feel great. I feel very confident that my cancer is healing. Basically, I would recommend this therapy for anyone who has cancer of any type. There are no ill side effects.